Hi, welcome to another Windows Management User Group interview. I'm Robert Marshall, MVP in the Enterprise Client Management space, a specialist in System Center 2012 Configuration Manager R2. And today we have Jorgen Nilsson with us. I'm just going to hand straight over to you, Jorgen. Would you like to introduce yourself further?
Well, thank you. Well, my name is Jorgen Nilsson, and I work as a consultant for a company called OneWin in Sweden. And I'm also an MVP in Enterprise Client Management, as you are, Robert. And it's working with System Center 2012 and a lot of Intune now as well. So it's really exciting days, for sure. I do a lot of community answers at Microsoft TechNet. Perhaps anyone seen my name there? And I run my website called ccmexec.com as well, where I try to blog at least once a week, hopefully.
I see you posting quite a lot of useful stuff there. It's immensely helpful. And the CCM exec, I've been there for quite a few times over the years, funny enough. It's valuable stuff there. I suggest everybody. What's the URL for the website, Jorgen?
Well, it's ccmexec.com actually. So
Fair.
I think it was a funny name when I bought the domain, but I'm not sure if it's that funny now. But yeah.
It's better than calling yourself SMS agent host.
Definitely.
So, what does a consultant do?
Well, basically, it's right now I'm doing a lot of. Well, right now I'm involved in a really big project in Sweden, so that's taking a lot of my time. But otherwise, designing configuration manager environment, client management, the solutions basically. So it's quite fun, and hopefully working with a lot of interesting customers as well. And I think that's the biggest benefit of being a consultant, right? You get to meet a lot of different peoples and different companies in different organizations and different businesses. So you get a lot of it's really challenging and developing as a person, I think, as well. So it's really nice. I love it. I've been a consultant almost for 20 years. I have a couple of months till I reach that deadline. Let's see what I do after 20 years. But 20 years is a long time. But
that's quite a milestone.
Yeah, but you've seen a lot of people and you met a lot of people, and it's been good times when you look back, at least.
I was going to ask you a question about this actually, and you've led straight into it. So yeah, it's more broadening being a consultant and moving around, seeing all manner of environments, a variety of way of implementing exactly the same thing, political views, technical views, the whole spectrum of personalities. After a few years, and 20, if you've been doing it for that long, it does not only give you a thicker skin, but it rounds you off as a person as well.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with what you're saying there. Yeah. Not that doing any other route makes you a lesser person.
Definitely not. I'm actually that's actually something I've been thinking about a lot these days. It's that, well, I've never been employed by a company. That would be interesting as well, perhaps, to broaden your horizon at that part. Right now, I have so much fun, so I can't imagine anything else to do. So.
Well, for those that feel aggrieved by what we just said there, all roads lead to Rome, so eventually they will get the satisfaction that we feel that we have and that we're expressing here. But absolutely, Jorgen, it's definitely an interesting career choice. And like I say, 20 years, that's a long time. So your anniversary is coming up very soon. That's good.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel old when you say that. I've always, when you start your first work, you're always the youngest person at the company. Everybody calls you like nicknames because you're the new guy. And now that you realize you're not the new guy anymore, it's tough.
I had in my early years, I was a pharmaceutical company, and I had some incredibly talented people around me. And I remember being almost starstruck by it all in my early 20s. And it's funny because I find people doing the same with me now. Whether I deserve it or not, I don't know. But I still get that kind of response from youngsters as I move around companies. Some are very eager to learn, they're just all over me like that. How things change over time, which is an obvious thing. But so yeah, I think you start to become more reflective on it as you get older.
Yeah.
Well,
Now I feel really old.
let's tone it back a bit and
Yeah,
let's see if we can get ourselves feeling okay again. Feeling youngsters, feeling a bit hip, maybe.
yeah, exactly.
So, okay, how do you see the Microsoft community?
Well, I've started getting involved with the community. Well, it's been a couple of years now, and I mean, it's great fun. I mean, when you do a lot of answering on questions at the forums, for instance, but then once in a while you get a mail saying, "Wow, this really helped me." Then all the effort and all the time you put into it, it's definitely worth it. It's a good feeling to be able to help someone else and maybe help them as well to see the greatness in the product, and maybe they feel the same as you do after helping them over the little troublesome they're into right now. And it's really fun. It gives a lot of things back as well, I think.
You're a moderator of the Microsoft TechNet social forums.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both for yeah, exactly, Configuration Manager 2007 and 2012. And actually I'm a moderator at windowsnoob.com as well, which Niall, our fellow MVP, runs as well. So
We certainly should give Niall a shout. His site, like CCMXX, really, really quite helpful.
yeah, definitely.
So, the next question would be, what technology interests you the most?
Well, saying that it's Configuration Manager wouldn't be fun, so I have to say that right now I think it's Intune that's most fun right now, because Configuration Manager 2012 has been around for a while. It's not that much. Well, you still learn a lot of things every week working with the product because it's so huge and complex, but still Intune is something new, fresh, and that's probably where we will end up with when you talk to mobile device management. And I mean, devices next year, everybody's saying that devices will outsell laptops and desktops as well. Well, actually, it's this year, so it's going to happen now. So then we need a way to manage these as well. And we have all our youngsters coming out from school and university, and they have a different aspect of how to work and what they expect as well. So I think there's a big change coming, and Intune is a big part of that change, I think. So, and
I
it's
think
quite fun playing around with new tools as well, right? Both new tools and new devices.
absolutely. Well, new wave of technologies, especially something that's as empowering as mobile device management, or it's going to kind of finish the story on mobile device management, because Microsoft started it with MDM, probably stuff before then, whatever. Some third-party stuff is out there to do equally good job, if not better. But Microsoft are trying to kind of bring that into Config Manager properly, or at least you can run Intune on its own entirely. But to complete that mobile device management piece, which I think is a good story to be completing right now, exactly because of what you said. And just to throw something else on top of what you said there, it really is just about consumer devices. It's not the growth in enterprise devices, it's the growth in consumer devices. And the growth in the enterprise market could be tablet, mobile device, desktop PCs, whatever. But ultimately, it's the rapid growth in consumer devices and the idea or notion of bringing that device into the corporate environment, which seemed a bit unreasonable when it was being first propositioned a few years back. But now the technologies are catching up with us. We can bring these devices in, and they can be kind of hermetically sealed off from the corporate network, the environment, and they can reach in to access applications, virtual desktops and stuff like that with remote desktop services, and however you want to implement that piece. So we're actually seeing the migration of consumer devices into companies, which is what it's all really about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think the coolest Intune is super cool, but I also think the Azure rights management uh, part as well, that you actually protect the data, which is that's what you want to protect, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think the Azure rights management is looking super cool right now as well, because then you don't solve it on your device with having a custom app or something like that where you have all your stuff in. You actually protect the data, so even if wherever you send it, it will still be protected. So I think that's really, really cool, and it adds another level to the management or the management, not perhaps the management, but the security of your data and information. That's
Mm.
actually what you do your business on. So I think that's really, really important.
I think I agree with you that the the value proposition, therefore, keeping everything safe up off premise,
Yeah.
is great. But the idea of cloud really only sells in an always on world. And if you've got the resiliency of links out from your company, then sure, it's a winner. But the smaller you are, the costs involved of keeping those links going. There needs to be a little bit more change, I think, a bit more development in other industries before we can fully, get with that whole cloud stuff. But that's where we're going. That's where the story will take us. No doubt about that. But I just think that it's not like one of those things that's introduced overnight and everybody adopts it, because it's not fully ready in terms of maturity of other things that it depends on. And again, that's what I fall back to network links. So
Yeah, you have all. There's a lot of both customers and organizations that have legal issues with where your data is stored and that stuff as
yeah.
well. So there's stuff to be sorted out, but I think they're sorting it out as well. So
Yeah, I do. I
it's
think that,
ongoing.
there's no mistaking that the progress that Microsoft are making towards that, as well as other companies as well that are doing it. Amazon, for example, with their cloud technologies. But yeah, definitely interesting technology is Intune, and that's what we originally asked you about. So how did you become an MVP?
Well, that's somebody. What's it called? Nominates you, as you know, the process. But I think it was I did a lot of answering on the forums and did a lot of blogging and did a lot of events or still do. So I think that's part of it. And I think that TechNet forums is. I'm actually TechNet forum junkie, I would say. I can go up in the morning before breakfast and just check the forum, take a shower, have breakfast, then check the forum again, and then go to work, basically. So.
What would be useful is to know how you actually interact with the social forum. What tools do you use?
Well, right now I use Feed Notifier, which isn't that optimal, but you can set down the refresh rate pretty low on it, so you get this post was posted like 22 seconds ago or something like that, so you actually have a chance to answer it, because there's a lot of good people doing a lot of good answering out there as well. So and I mean, if you don't have that much time anymore, so it's fun to be able to do it when you actually have the time to do it.
There's
So
another.
right now I'm actually using Feed Notifier and Next Gen Reader as well to keep up with the forums.
Okay, it's good to know what tools you're using there, so for the community to be able to pick up on. I know another social junkie, another TechNet social junkie, German chappie called Torsten, who I'm going to try and get to interview as well in this series. He's a formidable poster. Formidable, I say, he's just prolific poster is the right word.
Outstanding, I would say. He and Jason is in a league of their own, basically.
They've got that. They're really helping those forums out. It's really really good. Along with yourself as well. I do my bits in there as well. But so so you became an MVP. You got that email. There's an email, isn't there?
Yeah.
That arrives. What cycle are you on?
October.
And what does that mean for the audience?
Well, yeah, it's 1st of October, so you will get a mail. You should put in everything you've done like 3 months before that time, I think, or something like that. And then you get a mail, or you don't get a mail on the 1st of October saying that you welcome as an MVP for the next year, or maybe you're not welcome as an MVP for the next year. That's the thrill of being an MVP, checking the mailbox 250 times on a specific date, on a specific month in a year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
when are you up, Robert?
I'm in the January cycle.
Okay. So you're sitting after New Year's Eve and checking your mail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So come New Year's Eve, I know roughly what time it comes in, because it comes in roughly the same time each year. But you either get it or you don't get it, and this is not something that's guaranteed. So you may not get it and not renewed, because it is an invite-only program. and it's
Yeah.
all based on how much you've done in a year and how helpful you've been, not just to Microsoft but to the community.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't just about helping Microsoft. In fact, a lot of us give them a lot of pressure and put them into a lot of arm locks over things and influence the product and get things changed. If we were just yes men, I think we would be redundant.
Yeah.
Redundant. What is the funniest or oddest request you've been asked to do? Have you got any stories that you can come up with? If not, we'll
Well,
skip over that.
yeah. Well, it's quite a good question. I can't come up with anything specific right now that would be so fun that it would be most worth mentioning, I think. Um, but I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff in the northern of Sweden, where you have like sun the whole year round and the whole day round. So there's been some crazy installations and implementations around the years.
Well, there you go. That's a good story. See, it'd completely destroy your clock, wouldn't it? Having a 24-hour day cycle that lasts how long? Long can it? Well, I guess for you, several months, can't it?
Yeah, it's the summer months. But I mean, the guys working up there, they don't see it as a problem. They're used to it. But when you come from the south of Sweden traveling up there, then it will screw up your daytime. That's for sure. So that's an interesting experience as well.
Indeed. So the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
If you weren't a consultant, what other job would you like to do?
Well, when I was this is something my mother always nags me about. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a priest, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they only work on Sunday mornings, so at least that was my theory when I was a kid. So I'm not sure if I want to be a priest today anymore, but that was definitely my theory when I was a small kid.
I laugh because I have a 3.5-year-old who's given me some incredibly great experiences, like every father probably experiences with their child. The logic that they come out with and how cold it can be, sometimes clinical.
Yeah, exactly.
Factual, because they haven't got much to work with, so you can't knock them for it. But yeah, because you only work once a week, it seems
exactly.
a great career choice.
Perfect. And I
think all you have to do is wear one of those skirt things, a priest outfit, and great.
Well, I'm not sure if that's really what I wanted to do today. But
no, but as a 4-year-old, probably sounds fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's very social. Kind of reflects the whole community thing that you've taken up as an MVP, or before being an MVP even.
Well, I think there's a lot of, we've been discussing much what legacy you leave after yourself when you're at the dinner talking to somebody that builds houses or something. It's, well, I built this bridge over to Denmark. Well, great. I probably installed the computers that you did your time reporting on or something like that. It's not a real legacy that you leave after yourself, perhaps. But
it doesn't last very long, does it?
No, it doesn't. There's a really short time period. But, yeah.
Some could see things that we create as artwork. If we were a tradesman, we'd create a lovely statue or even a bridge, like you say. These things are invisible to most people. They're fabric. We call them fabric. If the fabric works, you don't notice it. And,
exactly. The time period that it's actually fresh and new, it's really short. So, and probably when we do our job, then it's the same thing as if you work if you do a large implementation. If the clients or the end users doesn't call service desk, then you got done a good job. But so you don't get that much positive feedback anyway. So it's tough. It's interesting.
I was just thinking, for a lot of us, we going around tearing down XP environments right now and bringing them up to at least Win 7, Win 8. So we're seeing the end of a cycle there. Some guys, whole teams were put together to get XP ready for the corporate environment. Immense amount of cycles were spent getting it ready, then deploying it, and then maintaining it all over those years. And its story comes to an end now. So for some, because it is quite, been in use for 10 plus years, isn't it? For some, that represents a fair chunk of their career.
Yeah, definitely.
When they came in, XP was dominant or rising. Had just been released. So there's an end of a big cycle there for some.
Yeah, and it's like you say, you could have been working with with this for 10 years and only been working with XP basically. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's definitely
Here
definitely good
comes the
to
new
know.
times for a lot of people, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Happy days. Just use Config Manager. Yeah, it'll take care of
exactly.
itself.
New technology, new devices.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool
yeah.
times.
Well, thank you very much for your time this evening. It was a pleasure talking with you, Jorgen. W. Mugler, thank you again for coming. And thank you.
Thank you. It's been a great time.